Get ready. 5 seconds. Start. We welcome this opportunity provided for discussing our foreign policy and also the working of the Ministry of External Affairs. A truncated of the Ministry of External Affairs discussion took place in the other house yesterday. We look forward to a fuller debate here, as he was good enough in his statesman-like manner. Since 1947, there has been a broad national consensus on our foreign policy, not only in this house, not only in parliament, but in the country as a whole. This does not mean that we have been following a static or an inactive foreign policy, because unless any foreign policy establishment keeps itself abreast of the dynamics of international life, the ever changing dynamics of international life, and objectively analyze them, it is likely to fall behind times and will not be able to meet the challenges of the present day world. As he observed, radical changes have been taken place in the international scene in the last 2 years or so. If we were to look at the world as it was in, say, 1986 or 1987, we would find that all the tensions, regional conflicts, failure of disarmament talks had become a permanent feature of international life, and certain positions adopted by the superpowers or by other countries had become almost frozen. There was a reflex response to any particular given situation. Now we find that in the last 2.5 years, there has been unrecognizable, almost inconceivable change in the international scene. How has this come about, and what role have we as a country played in this new almost of new thinking, new approaches, new formulas? How are we meeting these challenges? This is mainly due to the fact that the two countries, the Soviet Union and the United States, have come to have a relationship which did not exist ever since the establishment of the Soviet Union and the recognition of the Soviet Union by the United States in 1944. In the last 2.5 years, before Mr. Reagan handed over to Mr. Bush, he and Mr. Gorbachev have met 5 times. This was unprecedented because certain initiatives were undertaken by the Soviet Union and they were responded to by the United States. It was possible to diffuse tensions. The INF Treaty was signed. Similarly, the relationship between the Soviet Union and China is undergoing a basic change. The China Soviet rapprochement, we welcome it very much. When Mr. Gorbachev was here in November last year, he, in his speech at Vigyan Bhavan, accepting the Indira Gandhi International Peace Award, referred to the role the Soviet Union, China, and India can play in Asia and the world. So we welcome this, and there is no question of our having any doubts or fears about that. It is a development which we welcome, which strengthens peace in the world and creates a new atmosphere. Take the situation in Eastern Europe, what is happening in Poland or Hungary. It was inconceivable even 2 years ago. The kind of elections they are having. Solidarity has been recognized. Now let us come to the role that we have played. Mr. Gorbachev was in India for the first time in November 87. He signed with the Indian Prime Minister the Delhi Declaration. Honorable members will cast a glance back in 1987 November and recall the Delhi Declaration. It says, I think, in paragraph 5 that the two countries will work for the establishment of nuclear weapons free world and that non-violence will be the basic of our life. Mr. Gorbachev again referred to the Delhi Declaration in the famous and historic speech at the United Nations on the 7th December last year. Now we see that this language of the Delhi Declaration has become international legal leader and that Mr. Gorbachev elected to sign the declaration with the Prime Minister of India is not insignificant. Therefore, we have not from today or yesterday but for the last 42 years been trying to impress upon the world that the world should get rid of nuclear weapons and that non-violence should be the way of life. This is a great tribute to the foresight of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru who laid down the framework for the foreign policy of India and he did not in 1947. He did it many years before independence and the fact that we have found the foreign policy framework laid down by him so useful, so durable that it is really remarkable that a man should have such a vision that he had. I cannot really recall the foreign policy of any major country which has not undergone drastic changes. This has not happened in the case of India. That shows the correctness of the foreign policy of India that has the support of the parliament and people of India. Stop.